Now that we understand the concept of pivoting, it's really not that difficult to perform. All we need to do is we can upload any tool we need to use. For example, if you wanted to use Nmap or ARP spoof or dsniff, you can upload any of these tools, run them on this computer, which is connected to this big network, and then you can run a port scanner on this. You can do ARP poisoning and do man-in-the-middle attacks like we learned before. So it's very simple. All you have to do is use the upload command, upload it here, and use it from the command line like we were using it anyway in the previous videos. What I'm going to show you today is how to set up a route between the hacked computer and your computer so that you can use any Metasploit auxiliary or module against this big network. So we'll be able to use Metasploit exploits, we'll be able to use port scanners that come in with Metasploit, and other useful modules. So to do that, we're going to use a module called autoroute. And let me show you first how, if I try to run an exploit on the target computer, on the Metasploitable computer, it's not going to work because it's not visible to me. So I'm going to do a sessions list, and you'll see that I already have a connection with the Windows computer here, so I've already hacked it. And I'm going to use exploit multi samba and user map script. Now we already used this exploit against the Metasploitable before, but it was on the same network, so it was visible to us. What we're doing now is trying to attack a device that is not visible to us. And then I'm going to do show options. I'm going to set my R host to 10.20.15.4 because that's the IP of the Metasploitable device. Then I'm going to do show payloads. And I'm going to use this payload right here. So I'm going to do set payload to this, show options. Everything's set up properly, so I'm going to do exploit. And you'll see that this exploit will time out because if we go back to the diagram here, this device cannot see this device. So it's trying to run an exploit on this device, even though this device has that vulnerability, but I won't be able to use it because I can't see that device. And as you can see now, the exploit failed, connection timeout, we just couldn't connect to the target computer. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to interact with my interpreter on ID1. So sessions I1. So I'm in my interpreter. I'm going to run ifconfig first to see what my network look like, or the networks that the target computer is connected to. So we can see all the interfaces connected to the target computer, and I'm going to look for interfaces with IP addresses. So we have this interface number 4 has an IP address, and we can see that this IP address is on our network. So it's really not very useful. It's already on our network. We're on the 10.20.14 anyway, on that subnet. So this one is not very useful for me. Another one that I can see is this one, which is connected to 10.20.15.5. So it's on a different subnet right here, which I cannot see from my Kali Linux device. So I'm going to try to set up a route between this subnet and my current subnet. So I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to background my current session. So I'm back into Metasploit, and I'll clear this. Then I'm going to use post manage Windows manage autoroute. Now, by the way, at any stage of this, if you wanted to see all the manage modules, for example, you can just leave it at this and double tap, and you'll see all the post Windows manage modules, and you can try and use them and experiment with them. So the one that we want to use is autoroute, and I'm going to do show options to see the options that I can set. And we have two options that we need to set. We need to set the session that we hacked and the subnet. So I'm going to set the session first, and it's session number 1. And then I'm going to set the subnet to what we seen when we did the ifconfig command. So it was 10, 20, 15, and I'm going to put a 0 to it. So again, we're using the set, very simple commands we already learned. We set in this session to number 1, that's the session that we hacked for the Windows, and the subnet is the subnet which the Windows is connected to and we don't have access to. So it's the 10, 20, 15, 0. And I'm going to do exploit. And this will create the connection or the route between my device and the Windows device. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go back to the same exploit that I tried at the start of the video, and you'll see that the exploit is going to work because the Windows device is visible to me now. So instead of using that exploit, you can use, as I said, port scanners or discovery modules that come in with Metasploit, or any other module that come in with Metasploit, because my device can now see the target computer. It can see this Metasploitable device because it was not visible for me at the start, but now I have a connection to this computer and I set up a route between this network and my computer so I can actually see the Metasploitable device now. So I'm going to use the same exploit I used before. And it was exploit multi samba user map script. Just clear that. Now I'm going to show the options and I'm going to leave them the same because everything is actually set up correctly. So I'm just going to do exploit. And as you can see, now command shell was started properly. And I actually have access to the Metasploitable device now. So I can do ID and I'm root. I can do a uname A to just confirm that for you. And we can see that we're in the Metasploitable device and I can run any Linux command that I want. So I can do ls pwd and I should be in the root. And I can do cd, go to var for example, and do any Linux command that I want. So I basically have full access to the target computer. Now again, as I said, you could upload stuff and run them from the target computer, but it's not always a good idea to upload things to a hacked computer. So setting up the routes like this and using pivoting is a much safer choice. And I highly recommend that you go and have a look on other Metasploitable modules, because Metasploit is really big. It's hard for me to cover everything. I just covered the main basic stuff, but you can always just go in and have a look on other modules and try them. Using the modules is usually the same. We had a look on a broad array of modules, so it should be easy to just configure options and run these modules the way you want.